Right, the user experience. So let's really focus in on this. I'm looking here at where we actually deploy apps to the business users. And as you can see here, we've got the different ones, and they can be for executives or ones which manage one particular task, like consolidations, or say human resources, and different things around project or sales, and so on. So I'm going to show you, so this is how we can deploy these applications. So what I'm going to do is just create a sample one here, and I'm going to call it revenue webinar. I'll call it webinar sales. So this is going to go to the sales team. Okay, so I'll just set my parameter to be a particular role, and I'll just set the date. So I'm going to first of all start off looking at, I'm going back to FY22. So I'm looking at a budget process for January 22 to December 23 to start with, and I've just got an empty screen now. So this is where I'm then going to start deploying an application. So I'm going to start building in front of you a very straightforward, very fast way of building an app which I can deploy to different groups of users. So first of all, I won't explain everything in the screen, but you'll get the picture by me doing it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to deliver a task, screens for my sales team to deliver. And I'm going to give them the things which I want them to do. So first of all, I'm going to deploy one of my models, a sheet, which is my revenue, product revenue. So I've got a whole heap of them, and I'll deploy that one there. So the great thing here is as I do it, it builds it as I go, so I can very clearly see. And now I'm going to show you how I'm going to very precisely, as I said, I want to very precisely build this to the end user experience. So I'm just going to go, I've clicked on done, so I'm in the final, like effectively I've immediately got this deployed, but I just want to change the way that this screen shows. I want these people to be able to look at their customers and plan the number of units that they want them to do. So I'm going to just make this from the perspective of building this. So I'm going to have a customer view, and I want them to be building the number of units, to forecast the number of units. And I'm just going to give them one product to start with, because I want the screen to very easily show what I want them to see at the time. So it immediately renders, and it's giving me the customers, the view I want to see. It's giving me some green, which is the past, and then the new year is the future. And it goes a long way off, so I might just want to just tinker with that in terms of what periods I want them to see. So at the minute, I can just select, I want them to see the month of the past, so that's my FY21, and I want to see them each month of the future, but also throw in the year, like so. And just to precisely do it better, I don't want them to see all the customers. I just want to say take my top 5 customers. So just click the ones I want, do OK. And now I've got the exact view. This is the work I want them to do. I want them to plan and build up the plan for the coming year for FY22. So now that's at the starting point. So I've got a very kind of like a functional looking screen, but I want to improve this and give them a bit more information, make it nicer. So first of all, I'm just going to increase the size, just give them a bit more space. And I'm going to also give them a couple of dashboards here. So I'm going to put in a line chart like so. And what I want them to do is to see the budget. So if you're doing a budget, often we're looking at what's happened last year. And as I'm doing the budget, I want to see the cause and effect of that. So what I want to do is to pull in this data here into a chart, so the units. And so I'm going to just go into my model, and I have a product revenue model where I store my units. I'm just going to drag it in. So immediately it builds me a potential view of this. So I just want to fix up a couple of things, and then we can deploy this. So first of all, time is saying 2023. So I'm just going to first of all set this for 2022 because it's in the past in this example to the end of the year, Q4 22. Okay, so I've got that now. So everything you'll watch here is me clicking on the screen. Now I've got one set of data here, and you can see it says units of budget. And if we have a look at these units, we can set the data from what we want to represent on that line. And you can see there, for instance, the version is saying go to the version selector, which is what I've got selected up here. So I want to leave that like that. I'm happy with that. I want them to see the build up of their budget through this line over this, but I want to give them a bit more information. Show me the relative performance from last year. So I'm going to drag the units in again. So it comes in as a different color, but we can see we've got 2, but they're identical. That's why there's one line. So I just want to change the orange one and I want it to look at actuals data. So now that's changed the data set, but I want the actuals data from last year. So I can come down here under time alignment and just say, give me this number from 12 months ago. And you can see now I'm starting to get a build up, a nice picture. You can see actuals there, like 5351 for February 21, and my budget is now saying 6717. Just to make this look a bit nicer, I'm going to, I like to just, this starting from 0, I'm going to untick that because I want to show a bit more view there. And then finally, I'm going to give it a name. And it's called line at the minute. So I'm going to say unit last year, like LY versus current, so versus budget units. Okay, so you give it an interesting name that makes it look. So let's look at that now. And we can see now, I can now make my changes in the data here and see that impact on here as I go. So I've got one more thing I'd like to add on here before I finish. So it's a very fast deployment here. So I'm going to take this here. I want to see my customer view. I'm going to just extend that a bit there. And I'm going to copy this one, paste that here. I've got a blank one. I just want to set my time again so that I've got the same January to December, like so. But I'm going to make one change on this. So where I've gone to the data there, I'm going to go to where it says breakdown. So it's broken down by time as it is there. So I'll change that to a different view and go to, I've got any number of views. I'm going to choose the customer. So you can see now I'm seeing this by customer, but I don't like the lines. So I'm just going to make this into a column. And I can do one by column and one line if I like. But in this one, I'm just going to do them both as columns. And you can see now, I click on done. I've now got some decent information and feedback that I can be presenting, and it's been made in very quickly. And I've effectively deployed a simple application where I can start making changes. So for instance, now, if we look at some of these, maybe I look at customer one there, we can see actuals last year units, and it's a big change there, but I won't argue with the data. So I'm just going to make a change here, perhaps the last quarter for customer one. I'm just going to make a big change here to make it clear. I'm going to add 1,000 units. 1, 2, 3. And as you see there, it's spread that over the period. I'll click on save. And what we see here, as that's saving, it's refreshing. And you can see now it's gone up to 16,000 and things have changed. We've also, you can see the last quarter has moved out. So effectively there, hopefully you can see what we're talking about here is user experience. So I can deploy something exactly what I want to deploy to someone, and I can make multiple of these to suit the exact situation. We're going to see a couple of examples of this, pre-made ones, but I think just to start with, it was useful there just to see how you can build up like a very unique app-like experience for the sales managers.